All right. All right. All right. So I titled it, the Art Marketing University, just because I needed a title quickly, but there's also quite a bit of a backstory to this. Profound Week of Learnings, right? Like that could be the subheadline of sort of what we're endeavoring to get into today. And I give the analogy, and we have some customers that are on these always, and it'll make sense to you. If you're not a customer, I should probably give the backstory. So before the pandemic, well, even before I could give you the backstory, just ship it, right? Total mantra here.
Always.
What do we do? What do we do? I've got an idea. You've got an idea. Steve's got an idea. Mary's got an idea. That's fantastic. We love ideas. Don't care. Ship it. You feel strongly about it. Get it in the water. And,
Exactly.
and the notion underpinning this is ideas are only ideas. You have to execute on them to actually learn, to actually see if it's a viable idea, to get feedback. It's no different than if you have a new artistic piece that you're thinking about in your mind. Well, thinking about it in your mind isn't going to put the paint on the canvas or the exposure onto your SSD card, right? Like you have to go out and do it and then get the feedback. So we essentially started an art marketing university. And right around the time the pandemic hit, we started putting all of our customers into Zoom calls. We started teaching our marketing, getting their feedback. Where are they getting stuck up, hung up? And it's forever changed the company, right? Like the one metric measurement that software companies use to measure how well they're doing is this thing called NPS, Net Promoter Score. And without getting into the weeds on it, it's basically asking the patrons in your restaurant, did you enjoy the meal? And if they enjoyed the meal, rate it, right? It's like the same concept. And as a result of starting this aforementioned Art Marketing University, which is not what we're calling it, I just titled it that, we watched our NPS go through the roof, right? It like just jumped from the level it was at to a way higher level. And so we knew we were on the right track, right? We shipped it, we got feedback, incredible. Now, because you're always striving to get better, we are, I guess did it start in March? It started in February. I don't even remember. It doesn't matter. We're 4 or 5
February, yeah.
Okay, so we're 4 months into this thing essentially, right? Or 5 months, however you want to define it. And we're realizing now that we have to get better. And what we were doing is we have a diverse customer base, diverse in every way you can imagine it, right? Geographic region, media type, sex, color, creed, marketing level of sophistication, technical aptitude and acumen. And so what we did is we started a university, and just like, like if we were in some, like Deadwood, right? And we just started the town, like first step one, build a schoolhouse and put all the kids in it and start teaching, right? Step 2, though, we realized that you cannot put everyone from 7th grade to 12th grade in the same class, right? I can't teach you calculus if I've not taught you long division, if I've not taught you basic arithmetic. And really what's grinding our gears on this lately more than anything else is that when you put 7th graders in the same class as seniors and even graduate students, you do college level if you like, it becomes a bit of a suboptimal experience for everyone. 7th graders are asking questions and the seniors are like tuning out, right? Like they're tuning out and go, oh my God, I can't believe that. And then the 7th grader feels bad for asking the question. And then the seniors are asking questions and the 7th graders are sitting there with the googly eyes going, what is this person even talking about? So we're getting better. We're getting a higher level of sophistication, and we're now understanding that we're going to have to add a couple of grades into the stack. So that has just been a huge, profound learning. And to me, and I'd love to get your 2 cents on it, Nick, but to me,
we're doing that. And oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, my biggest issue with it is that we're asking our customers first to essentially take 4 hours out of their week, Tuesdays, Thursdays, 2 hours each session, essentially, to come and learn. We need to maximize the ROI of that time that they spend. If that time is not utterly, totally, and completely focused on speaking to where they are in their journey, we are not maximizing what we're doing, right? Like, stated a final way, and then over to you. Like, you would not be happy if your 4th grade kid was in a kindergarten class, would you? Right? You would go nuts. You'd be like, what am I paying for here? This is ridiculous.
Yeah,
like, why I think in that class.
I mean, so we're doing this starting next week, right? So we're like, to give people a practical example of what's happening is we are now implementing another workshop that's for beginners, right? Yeah. To learn the core concepts, let's call it, right? Like the basics of Instagram, Facebook, email marketing, entrepreneurship, right? Certain concepts of entrepreneurship, concepts that we teach, and that we talk about, that are not being done anywhere else, right? So that they have this foundation. They have a foundation there, and then they can come to the more advanced marketing and business workshops, right? And so that's what we're doing. And I think, it's interesting because there's pros and cons with it, right? Because I love the fact that all of our brand new members are coming in and they're getting, to become part of the community with people who are way more successful than they are right out of the gates, And you know what I mean? To hear how they talk, to hear what types of questions they ask and the quality of their thinking and decision making, right? So there's that benefit. But it's great because, any Art Storefronts member can still attend, right? They can still be there, and while it might be a little bit over their head, they might be like, you know what, I'm not ready for this yet. I'm just going to stick with mine. Or they might be like, hey, I'm really enjoying this conversation as I'm learning these other concepts, right? But I think that's why it has been working well to date, even though it's like not ideal, is because, because it does benefit everybody, like just by doing it in general, it does benefit everybody. But I think, the way that I look at it is like,
my analogy to that point is like the most important thing that we've done with these classes is we said, here is the lane. Okay. The lane is a path to 100K a year art business. Okay. That's what it is. That's the lane. We've gotten everybody in the lane, right? They're staying in their lane. And anytime anyone veers out, we move them right back into the lane, right back onto the path, because this is the path. And as long as you're on it, it's okay. Our job now is to just get certain cars moving at faster speed and getting the cars back here moving at a faster speed. We're just regulating the traffic, It's still an incredible achievement, and we can hang our hat on it, that we got everybody in there and on the lane, on the path to 100K. Right. But now we got to do a little traffic control, Yeah,
now we're going to optimize it. Yeah, exactly. That's a great way of putting it, because it's quite a feat getting everybody on the path, right? Now we're dealing with optimizing it for different types of drivers, right?
And we'll always be doing that.
Always. Yeah. So and that's where, Art Marketing University, I love that you have like the question mark on it, because to me, like what we're doing, it's not just, it's like marketing is just, it's a big part of it, but it's like, this is an entrepreneurship school for artists and photographers. That's what it is, and it's not just a school. We're providing a step-by-step plan, right? Of exactly what to do to get to this 100K a year. Our job is to reverse engineer what it takes to build a 100K a year art business from your home, right? And illuminate that path and give everybody the technology and the plan, marketing, business plan, everything to get there and make it as simple as possible. We illuminate the path, right? And so
to that point, we're illuminating that path in about 2 hours, hour and a half, 11 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Eastern. We're doing a Zoom for non-customers today to explain who we are, what we do, the Art Marketing University question mark and everything else. If you're brand new, you don't know who we are, you don't know if you can trust us, you don't know if we have any credibility, who are these quacks on Instagram and Facebook saying this nonsense, then come see. We'd love to put you
get some free consulting.
Yeah. So there's links anywhere you're watching the stream, links in the Instagram bio. You can register, you can come on, you can join, you can ask your questions. So sorry to derail you, but I forget the announcements sometimes.
No worries. We might as well do the other announcement too, because if for anybody that's been following us for a little bit and has been thinking about joining Art Storefronts, we are running a summer special that is expiring next Friday. We're getting really close here. That summer special is ending, and it's a great time to save money, save a lot of money to join Art Storefronts. It's a great deal. And on top of that, what's right around the corner? The fourth quarter.
Q4, baby.
Q4. The biggest art selling time of the year, right? So there's no better time to like get on the horse right now and get things going right? Get your site up, you know, so you're properly equipped with a proper art gallery website, and you're doing the marketing and you're starting to build your following and your list into the fourth quarter, right?
Yeah.
Honestly, that's the highest ROI, return on investment thing that you can do on your time right now as an artist or photographer, is be building towards Q4, which is the biggest art selling time of the year. Not only that, Pat, it's the biggest art selling time of the year in the all-time biggest online art market, you know, ever. This year is going to break all records by a mile, and it's strictly because, you know, we have been seeing Black Friday levels of sales every single week at art storefronts. It's like, I'm a broken record saying this, but it's unbelievable. Like every week, the artists and photographers on our platform are getting that, you know, are driving traffic to their own websites, right? Building their email lists, and are selling more than they ever have, right? Than ever before. And it's been happening ever since, you know, the beginning of April is when it first started picking up, and it has not stopped at all. So this fourth quarter is going to be one of the biggest game changers ever, because the people, the artists and photographers who invested in, you know, their business and going direct, right? Not relying on galleries, not relying on third parties, not relying on art shows, not relying on the online galleries like the Fine Art Americas of the world, which everybody and their brother uploads their stuff to, you know what I mean? And nobody's making money. Like, not those, the people who invested in their direct business, those are the people that have been killing it this year, all right? Breaking records. And this Q4 is going to be all time for them. I'm so
There's no breaks. There's no breaks on this train. There's no breaks.
I see some of our members on here, like Todd Monk, Jonah, like some of these, like, I know what's going to happen this Q4, right? Like, I know what's going to happen. Meg, like, I mean, it's just, and everybody else that's on here, like Mariah, you know, and some are newer members that have been just kind of working all year long, trying to build their email list. They're doing it right now, right? Like every week I've been harping on that. Lead acquisition. You have to focus on lead acquisition, right? It's like, we're going to be, and then we're going to get into the fourth quarter and we're going to have some amazing strategies. Like, that's going to be so fun. When I start thinking about the tactical that we're going to be coaching our members on for Q4, it's going to be like nothing ever before, right? Like it's going to be incredible. It's going to be
like you're a humble farmer, you know, you tilled the land with the oxen and you planted the seeds and you kept an eye on it, and you've been waiting for it to sprout up, grow, so you can harvest it. And all of that happens in like a couple of weeks, right? Like months worth of work all culminate in the harvest time, which is Q4, baby. And it's coming.
Yep.
A lot to be excited about there.
You guys, if you have any questions you want us to answer, by the way, just drop a comment. And we would be happy to answer it. But yeah, just to emphasize again, we have a session for non-art storefronts members, free art business consulting. It's starting in about an hour and 20 minutes. It's at 11 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Central. Get on our email list to get the Zoom link. Or I think you've got it on the post here too, but it's a good idea to get on our email list, because we're always sending that out whenever we do these sessions. And like us on Facebook, and you can see us live too.
Yep, it's everywhere.
Yeah, so online art sales continue to surge. Better still, Q4 is coming. Gosh, it's exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, we got a lot of work to do between now and then, though, too. That part's a little bit, you know, occupying my mind space, my head space.
Yeah.
Yeah. The pandemic, sadly, will likely still be with us until then, which means all your other sources are not going to come back. I know, very sad. Sort of terrified for restaurants right
Unbelievable.
now. Yeah.
Unbelievable. I know.
So you gotta get your
retail
apocalypse. Yep.
It's the retail apocalypse. You know what I mean? Yep. Like the fact that we're even using that phrase, that there's a phrase right now that's come out, that's the retail apocalypse. I mean, how that affects galleries, how it affects art shows. I was you know, speaking the other day and talking about this article that came out. There was an interview with the Lollapalooza founder, right? And he said that he's like, you know, concerts and festivals, they're not coming back until 2022. That's what he said. Like, forget 2021. He's like, they're not going to be coming back until 2022. You know,
because they can't operate that. They can't operate that thing. They can't operate those things at 50% capacity or 40% capacity.
No, because they're super
70. None of it. They have to sell
They're
out.
super spreader events. Festivals are super spreader events. That's what they're being identified as, right? And so art show, like anything like that, where you're gathering a bunch of people, they're walking around, you can't social distance, right? Like it's really awkward. They're super spreader events and they're not going to happen. And so you start thinking about those art festivals and you're like, art shows, you're like, they're just not going to happen. They're just not going to happen. So that's all right though. Everybody knows, like if you haven't learned it by now, you just move on. You just move on. And the good news is,
could you just imagine a whole bunch of people at a concert like that, packed in, face masks down, drink your beer, face mask back up, face mask down, take your drugs, smoke your cigarette, whatever the heck you do with those festivals, face mask back up, try to like enjoy the party. Give me a break. Like that would work. No chance.
No chance. No chance. They would, no.
Yeah, Emily said she only has 18 on my email list. That is a huge problem, Emily. That is a huge problem. Step number one now.
The only problem.
Identify that you have a problem. So you're in the right direction already, right? You've got a problem, but you got between now and Q4 to solve it.
Exactly.
What is the startup cost, Russ Butner?
Startup costs for art storefronts. So to clarify exactly what we do for people who don't know, there's two core things. We are an all-in-one solution for artists and photographers to build their own valuable business where they own their customers, your own leads, and you're making the most money from your work and you're generating consistent income. The way to do that is by having a direct to consumer business, DTC, right? You got to go direct. Yes,
DTC or die.
Yes, it's DTC or die now, because the indirect, the third parties, right? The galleries, the art shows, they're gone, right? Now, in normal times, the third parties, the indirect sales channels, the rug always gets pulled out from underneath you. That's why it's never been a good strategy. And it's actually the source of the starving artist problem. You just learned it. You guys want to know what this starving artist problem is and has been this whole time for literally a millennia? Like it's a 1,000-year problem. Okay, it's because artists have always been relying on third parties to do everything for them. And when you rely on third parties, every business owner, every entrepreneur knows this in any industry. This is not unique, okay? That if you rely on indirect sales channels, you have a very risky business and the indirect channels always get pulled out from underneath you, okay? So you treat them as gravy, but you spend your time and energy and your mind share building a direct business as an entrepreneur where you control your destiny. That's the key, okay? So back to what we do, we're an all-in-one solution to help artists and photographers do exactly that. Build their own valuable business. We are here to help solve the starving artist problem. That's all we're interested in, right? We're not interested in just selling a product. We are here to help artists and photographers become successful because that's what will solve the problem. So the two things that make up our all-in-one solution are, number one, we provide you with a proper art gallery website with thousands of features, all designed for selling art to maximize the number of visitors that turn into customers. That's the key. You got to have a proper art gallery website. After that, market it, right? The second thing we do, we provide ongoing business and marketing consulting so that when you're driving traffic, to your site, you actually can convert it into sales, right? So the thing that we like to say is we have the Ferrari of websites for artists and photographers to sell art, but that Ferrari is only sitting in your driveway. You need to put gas in the tank in order to drive it. The marketing is the gas. If you don't solve the marketing problem, all you have is a Ferrari sitting in your driveway and it's a glorified lawn ornament. I love that, the glorified lawn ornament. That's really all it is. Marketing is the only thing that you guys need to solve. It's the number one problem. So the cost of what we do, I will give the range, all right? So it starts at, our entry level pricing starts at a one-time membership fee of $1,000. You only pay it once, never pay it again, and $44 a month from there, all right? And then it ranges up to our top plan, which is $2,800, one-time membership fee. You only pay it once, okay, never pay it again, and $59 a month, all right? And you can get a discount on that if you pay annually, right? So that gives you the range. And so we have a summer special right now. So the top plan and there's a middle plan in there, somewhere in between, are all discounted significantly. So it's a great time to join and save. If you're interested in learning more about art storefronts, the next step is always to request a demo, you guys. So do we have a link in the post for doing that?
Always.
Okay, yeah. So we have a link in the post. It's always in our bio on Instagram too. Click request a demo. All right. And then you fill out the form. It takes like 30 seconds. And one of our team members will reach out to you, take a look at your art, talk to you about your goals, make sure that there's a good fit there. And then they can do a screen share with you and show you all the details, all of the features of the website, the Proper Art Gallery website, all the back end software features to help you run the business more efficiently. And of course, all of the features of the marketing product and the business consulting, so that you can see like how we help you get more traffic and build your audience and ultimately get more sales, because that's the whole point.
Or the Art Marketing University?
Or the Art Marketing University, or the Entrepreneurship, University for artists, Yeah. It's the whole thing, guys. There's a lot there. And that's why the next step is always to request a demo. And check out our reviews. Always check out our reviews, look at what we're doing. Talk to some of our members. Some of them are on here right now. They're in the chat. They're in the comments. I see them on Facebook and on Instagram. And so, they can speak to our credibility if you're interested.
Ooh, the street cred. We got street cred. Yeah, independent of all of that, though, just to tie a bow on the university, true north, putting your customers on a path to 100K a year plus art business. As long as that's the lens that everything focuses on, you then look at your educational entity, whatever the heck we're going to call it, right? Name TBD, and you constantly iterate, and you constantly make it better. The efficiency
that's right
that we're working towards, getting out of that, and like, we don't have it all figured out. Now, don't get me wrong, in comparison to our competitors that have nothing, we feel like we're in a pretty good place already. But that doesn't mean we're not going to religiously try to get better at this day after day after day after day. And the efficiency to me is just so critical, is so important. If you don't understand omni-channel marketing, you don't know what the word ROI means, you've never sent an email in your life, we got to speak to that problem. We got to fix those situations. If you're up at the advanced level, I only want you talking advanced level stuff, right? Stuff that I can't even explain down here, because if you can't do basic arithmetic, how are you going to do calculus? I hate calculus.
Yeah, but I love the fact of like that we're setting our true north at like the 100K a year business, right? Because it's like everybody needs to know that that's all we care about. We're looking at how to build a 100K business. We've already taken members to that level and beyond, right? And so that's just kind of like our true north. We're picking that number because it's a good number, right? $100,000 a year from your home. That's a good business.
It's not
a good business as a solo entrepreneur.
It's not everybody's goal. Someone's 20 or 40 or 50 grand a year, which is fine. It doesn't matter. The path is the same.
That's right. Exactly. That's right. It's like our job is to illuminate the path, and whether you want to just sell $10,000 a year, if that's good for you, or 20 or 50 or 100, we are illuminating the path to 100 and beyond, right? That's our job. That's all we study. That's all we care about, right? We are working on those businesses, and then we reverse engineer the success and we turn it into the website product, the software, that's, improving that, as well as all of the consulting, the step-by-step playbooks that we're providing, right? So everybody is working on the things that work, the things that are working right now, and not one thing that doesn't actually work. Like, you could literally look at anything that we're coaching. Think about this, Pat. Anything in our marketing product, anything in the whole plan, the marketing plan that's on there, every single thing is guaranteed to work, right? Like, what I mean by that is some people do some things wrong and they need some coaching and they need to get it corrected, right? And that's happening all the time. But you can't point to anything on there where we can't say, hey, this is working for these 5 people at least, right? Like, you can't call us on that. You can't say like, this is a random plan that we just came up with on something. It's like, no. There is proof that this actually works in the real market because we've done it with our members, right? And every single thing on there is that, right? That everybody gets to work from. That's just a beautiful thing when you think about it. Just beautiful.
Hammering out some comments.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you, Yulia. That's a great comment right there. Love that. All right, so
like a lot of case in point, 100K business seems far away. If your goals aren't, if it's not a BHAG, then it shouldn't be there. And like, there's stats And
you gotta say what BHAG is.
Big, hairy, audacious goal, right?
Yep.
Like you have to have like the reason it has to be 100K, and like let's just put it into context. I think for solopreneur businesses, okay, no employees, run by an individual out of the home, retail location, or whatever, the average yearly revenue, so I don't even think it's income, yearly revenue, I got to pull up the stats, I have them somewhere, is like 46,972 or something like that. It's really not a big number. It's a small number, right? So aspirationally, we have to set that bar a little bit high. And you realize that that is what you're sprinting towards. Then when you hit 20K, you don't go out and celebrate for 3 weeks. You're like, I've got so far to go, right? I've got to keep going and going and going and going. And until I get there, I'm not going to stop. So it aligns your thinking in a way such that that's where you're headed. I'm keeping my head down. There's nothing until we get there, right? And I have the stats right here. So hold on, I'll pull them right up. So, okay. Average annual revenue, okay? Small business, no employees in the United States yearly, $46,978. 86.3 of small business owners make less than $100,000 a year in income. And that's income, I should say too, right? Like a lot of those businesses have buildings, other expensive rents, expensive equipment that artists and photographers really don't have. I mean, the majority of you guys are working at your house, which is great, lower overhead, right? And then what is the other one? Small business owners who are self-employed by their own businesses made a median income of 50,000. Okay, this is 2016. You know, the stats are always trailing a little bit, so maybe that's up a little bit now. But 100K is a good target. It's a good target, and the best part about it is that the path ain't that different. If you're at 100, 150, 200, 500, like there's some new things that you do there along the way. But this is the path. This is the path.
Yeah, and we have to.
We're at. Yeah.
We have to be the aspirational ones, right? Like, because we are building a company to help generate 100K a year plus artists and photographer businesses, right? Yeah. That's what we are doing. We are illuminating the entire path. We're giving the steps to get there. And we have to do that, whether the artists and photographers that become members, whether they want to do it or not, right? Because it's like, they're going to have to work at their business to get to that level. Some of them don't, like, we have a lot of people who they're not looking to get there, right? They're stay-at-home moms and dads, and they're like, I'm just looking to make an extra 10 or 20 grand for my family. No problem, right? Like, the path is illuminated for you. You want to get to 100K and beyond, like, the path is illuminated for you, right? And that is our job. Like, we have to shoot for the stars, as they say, and land in the clouds, right? So everybody should be trying to think that way. But that we're building an entire company around that. That's it. That's what our true north is, right? If you really want to know what our true north is, it's like, that is our true north. Like, we need to make it like as efficient as possible, you know, and as realistic as possible for people who want to get to that level, to be able to get there and to have the exact marketing plan and strategies to be able to, and the technology to be able to get there and do that, right?
Yeah.
It's amazing. Like, people can't appreciate, if you don't know all the details of what it's like to run a 50K a year art business or 100K or a 200K, you don't realize all the things that are in there that Pat and I talk about, right? Like, when we talk about the fact that you can't be monkeying around with print fulfillment, right? Because you're not at 50K or 100K, and you don't know what it's like to deal with that when you're there. We do, right? And the artists and photographers on our platform that are at that level, they know what it's like. And trust me, they are going with, you know, automated fulfillment and not dealing with it, because the workload becomes too much, and you've got to focus on marketing if you want to get to the next level. And there's so many of these little things. I mentioned print fulfillment, but there's so many things that you got to take off the table. You can't be monkeying around with your website all the time. You can't be spending time on that. That is getting you nowhere. You got to have a proper art gallery website. Check, 14 days, done. You get that thing live, and from there, you're not touching it. You're just uploading new content, because you need to work on marketing. It's the only thing that is moving your business forward. If you are not collecting more emails, building your following every single week, your business is not going anywhere. It is not going anywhere. And every starving artist has a broken business. That's what it is, right? If you are a starving artist, it's a cute phrase to give, because you have a broken business. That's all it is. It's broken. I could ask you 3 questions.
what you work on, okay, very important, equally important, and this is so counterintuitive, what you don't work on, what you're not working on, what you're ignoring, because it's the stuff that people are working on, that they're busy with, that makes zero impact whatsoever on your business. What do you want to do?
So true.
Busy, or do you want to have 100K? Everything goes back to 100K to your business, the North Star, right? 5 pillars to this whole thing, just 5. 1, unclog the drain, get the nonsense out of your head, right? Number 1. Number 2, understand the business model, direct to consumer or die. The pandemic didn't teach you that. What will, right? Number 3, understanding the secret to effective marketing, okay? Doing the high ROI activities, ignoring the nonsense. That's the secret, staying at it consistently. Number 4, the inputs, your sources of information that are in your mind, explaining you where to go, what to do. If you don't have people that are achieving success and that are constantly getting big wins, and you're not taking those as your inputs, you're taking something else as your inputs. And your inputs, your sources of information, the podcasts that you're listening to, the friends that you're talking about, the group of people you have at the coffee shop, if those inputs are not in point, you are being poisoned. It ends up being a cancer.
Poisoned.
That's the way to say it. Little thought experiment: turn off the news for about a month. No print, no video, right? And so no local cable news. Just ignore the news out of your life and see how much better you feel about yourself,
yeah,
about your neighbors, about your country. When the inputs are just constantly bombarding you with negativity, it's just it's like trying to swim with weights on your feet. It's terrible. And then the fifth one.
Now apply. Oh yeah, go ahead and finish.
The fifth pillar is just perspective. The perspective of how long it's going to take you to get to that 100K your art business. And sadly, I know this sucks. This was a huge surprise to us too. It takes longer than 3 months. I'm sorry. Okay. It takes longer than 6 months. It takes years. But guess what? If you're on the path and you're moving forward every day with the greatest amount of speed that you can manage, whatever it is unique to you, you're at least on the path. You're on the way. That's it.
And it takes years to build any business. Any business, guys. So like this goes back to the inputs, right? This goes back to the inputs. Who told you that it took 3 months, that it was going to take 3 months? Who told you that it would even take 1 year? Nobody, right? Who told you? You probably made that up in your head, because you ask any entrepreneur or business owner, right? Starting with Steve Jobs, who says it takes 3 to 5 years to build anything significant, right? Like anything of value. Yeah, anything of value, 3 to 5 years, right? Any entrepreneur will tell you it's going to take at least that long, right? So have the right information in your head so that you're not operating with the wrong information and getting all bummed out about it, right? Now, taking your example about shutting off the news, I wanted to comment on that for a second, right? What's the equivalent of that? Think about the equivalent of that in the art business, like for your art business. What are your inputs? What podcasts are you listening to? What friends have you gotten advice from? What forums are you in getting advice from? Who are those people? Have they ever sold anything, right? Have they sold $100,000 a year? Shut them all off, just like the news. Turn them all off and start listening to people who have done it. That is one of the biggest changes you could make. That alone might actually change your entire life. I'm dead serious. It's no different than, the crabs in the pot, right? So it starts with, you're the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with, right? And there's this crabs in the pot, thing where it's a real thing. Like if you boil crabs in a pot and one of them starts climbing out, he's almost getting out, the other ones will literally go up and pull it back in. They won't let him get out, It's like, and like, that's the analogy of like bad inputs, negative people that are in your life, that are literally holding you back. They're holding you back. And you take all that stuff out and you move it aside, and you only let inputs come into your mind that are high quality. Your entire life changes, okay? And it's just as important for your personal as it is for your business. But I will tell you, if you do not have quality inputs in your business life, you are going nowhere. You are going nowhere. You gotta fix that immediately, right? If you don't have quality inputs and you're not running direct to consumer business, you're starving. You are literally starving. You're out there right now, and I know many of you who are probably listening to this are like, you've got questions you can't get answered, right? You don't know what your pricing should be on this or that. You don't know whether you should be selling photography and art on the same website. You know, you don't know whether you should just launch or what you should, you know what I mean? Like, should I be doing SEO or should I be focusing on Facebook ads? Should I be boosting posts or should I be on Instagram? You don't know any of that, right? Why? Because you have no quality inputs. These are easy questions. These are in fact the easiest questions that could be answered in seconds, right? If you had quality inputs of people who know what to do and who have been there, who have actually been there, right? And that's the first thing that you got to do. I do this all the time in my personal life. Like when I'm reading books, you know, or I'm looking at like blogs or podcasts, if you are not more successful than I am, I do not read it at all. It's nonsense because most of the people out there have not done it. There's a funny saying, I forget who the quote was from, but there's a funny quote that I saw literally a couple of days ago. And it's like all the people that are like on Twitter or, you know, like on YouTube pre-roll ads that are trying to tell you how to make money, right? You know, you always see those. You always see those. They pop in. I'm going to teach you how to do this. Like those are all the people that are not making money. Those are all like the people that are trying to tell you how to make money are like the people like they're the people who are not making money. Watch out for all of those. Make sure that you have the credentials of whoever you're listening to. So important. And so when it comes to the art industry, it's like, who's telling you what to do and have they actually done it and verify it, right? And so with us, if you're thinking about working with us, go verify it. I'm the CEO and I'm the owner of the company. I'm telling you, go verify it, right? You should do it with us and you should do it with everyone else and do it for the rest of your life. That will make you such a higher quality thinker. And when you're a higher quality thinker, you will make better decisions. And when you make better decisions, your entire life will change. Your business will do dramatically better. But it starts by, you know, these pillars that Pat just talked about, those 5 pillars. You can't get them wrong. If you get them wrong, you're already done. You're already done. So fix those.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, especially with the inputs. So you're telling me that if I eat fast food on a regular, okay, have very little vegetables and drink 7 IPAs a night, that I'm not going to have washboard abs and be in really good shape? Imagine that, right? Imagine that. Like,
imagine that, exactly.
The inputs are no different than trying to have a healthy, balanced, plant-based diet, getting regular exercise, not having too many alcoholic beverages, taking care of yourself, getting a proper night's sleep, having enough water. Like, surprise, surprise, if you do that, your skin starts looking better. You have to go out clothes shopping because you can't fit in those jeans anymore. You know, they're too big, and you have more energy. Your wife likes you more. I can't believe it, just by changing the inputs. Imagine that.
Yeah,
Imagine
exactly.
that.
Exactly. I was talking to someone a couple of days ago, not to be named, but I was talking to them a couple of days ago, and they were talking about like they have constant anxiety that they're dealing with, right? Constant anxiety, and they can't focus on their business, and all these things are getting in the way. And so I brought up like, you know, my whole theory about HENSS, HENSS, right? Hydration, exercise, nutrition, sleep, sun. I have this on my wall in my closet every morning that I get up and I see it there, because it's like, if any of those are all inputs. If any of those are off, right, then, you know, your mind might not be at a high quality level, right? So when I was talking to this person, I was asking about those things, and it's like, dehydrated, terrible diet, you know, not exercising, and it's like you're fixing the wrong problem. You're talking about anxiety and all this stuff, and you're like, I'm gonna go meditate, right, to try to solve it. And it's like, you got to realize, solve these first, fix the inputs, you know, and then see where you're at. You will be surprised at what your new baseline is when you actually solve those things, right? It's just amazing. It's no different than like, if you're in a bad mood right now, go force yourself to exercise. I guarantee you will feel like dramatically better in like 2 hours. Like, just go do it. And then right afterwards, you're gonna be like, whoa, that problem that I had this morning wasn't as big of a problem, right? And so it's all like the inputs that we have, you guys, they're coming from everywhere. But take care of yourself, right? And control those things. And that's how, you know, you're gonna execute better on a day-to-day basis.
Yep. And we leave it there. You got to get ready. 1 hour. You
yes.
guys got 55 minutes. Having a non-customer free art business consulting. We need a better name for it, by the way. We got to brand it something. Art.
Yeah.
Anyone's got it.
You guys want to talk to us about any of this stuff, about your business? What's the one thing holding you back to you know, take your art business to the next level? Come talk to us 1 hour from now. All right. Get on the Zoom call. Come see us. Come chat with us. All right. Other than that, one final reminder, we have a summer special at Art Storefronts to join at a significant discount. It is expiring next Friday, all right? Do not wait. Do not wait if you've been considering joining. Get your demo request in right now because it's going to fill up. It's already filling up, and and I don't want you to miss out, right? Like the last few days are just crazy. So get it in today. We have people like on our outreach team ready to go. They'll call you back and show you everything you want to see. Take you through everything on a screen share and answer all of your questions. Okay, so do that as soon as possible. Request a demo. You can do that, but like in any of our bios or links that are on this post, and you can always go to our website at artstorefronts.com. In the upper right-hand corner of the screen, there's always a big request a demo button. Request a demo. So click on that, and you can request a demo there. Other than that, we'll see you guys at the top of the hour.
Yeah, and customers, all you guys, thanks for the love in the comments. We love you guys too. You know that.
Love you guys.
32, 32. I got my eyes on you. You gotta get on that Zoom, and we'll figure out why you're not taking your next step. You probably have some nonsense stuff in your brain. We'll pull that right out. We'll pull that right out.
Art Storefronts family members, right? It's a real thing. It is a real thing. The Art Storefronts family. I love you guys. We love you. We're all together on this. All right, top of the hour. I'll see you in a bit.